Sentinels engaged. Warning. Sentinels engaged. Warning. Sentinels engaged. Warning. Sentinels engaged. Protection falling.
And we just put in a little bit for an egg. So we can get Baggles the egg. We're almost there too, right? What are we at? 2.1? Thank you, good sir, for hosting. Or ma'am. Let's we gotta get back to thing now. I don't know how to... How do I... Because I'm gonna piss off on this guy now. I don't know how to piss off. Because it's kind of laggy. Not to be mean. Because I connected to him, right? So now I'm on somebody else's... I'm playing P2P on, and somebody's acting as a server. How do we do this? should increase that storage. So the way I get metal is I shoot at the ground, but it's got to be a nice place. So if you notice something
Units received.
with a lot of pebbles on the ground, like a moon.
Units received.
A moon is a good spot for pebbles, and all the fun little rocks and whatever.
Units received.
Your ship has a hard time shooting down the trees. But there's some
Radiation protection falling.
some flowers will get knocked by your heads. Some of the best places to go would be if you had a moon that had chromatic metal mixed in with the ferrite dust. That way, while you're collecting your ferrite dust, you're also doing a little bit of this. Now, once you get an AI mine, it's pretty easy, right? It's 4 to 1. So the trick is to get to the AI, so that you can make the AI mine. Put all of your effort into the AI mine, and then you can flip that for the chromatics, which is for everything else. Right, so when we make our mine, so when we make our AI mine, it's self-perpetuating. We turn around and use those chromatics to make the mine bigger so that we can do more things. And is this one too? This one too for your gas extractors. And it might not seem like a lot, 50 I mean, but when you want to maximize your mine early morning and late in the evening, you need to have like a shit ton. I'll do double. I'll do more than double, because they run at about 21 to 24 during the morning and evening. And then on top of that, you need to charge the batteries, and then the batteries will charge the extractors during the evening. Now this one's not on an extraction system. This one's not on a battery system, sorry. All I've done is early morning. And then we're going to rely on it just filling the tanks. And then we can just, you know what we can do? We can put one right here, right in front of the door. And then the rest I don't really care. And find a nice place with a lot of trees. They've been doing a pretty good job of putting trees everywhere. So no carbon. I put all of my carbon in my Minotaur for the most part. So they gave us a new thing, which allows me to call it from anywhere if my freighters, I think it's only if my freighters there. But look, I just take the pad away. I put the pad down, take the pad away, and then I can call it on that planet whenever I want until I leave and then come back. So for the duration of my time on this planet, I will be able to call this whenever I want. And that's just down on the D-pad, left, up, over, up. And you can also pull from your ship. So if I'm flying in my ship and I want to use my backpack, I can pull from my exocraft even if I'm in my starship, like on a star or like wandering around in the space stations. I can use my stuff while I'm in there doing so, like pissing around and whatever. And then because I don't have a planet that has large robots on it to get so you see how they started working early morning? We could probably look, see, so I saved myself. I already checked it. So that runs the 2 mines. And then they'll go into 50s. But that gives me early morning and late evenings. We were looking at 8,000 now.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
So that's for the batteries. Because the batteries are super expensive. Okay, and the carbon. I was just about to say I don't want to listen to that anymore.
Technology recharge. Radiation protection falling.
Just beast mode. Do they have storm crystals here? No, but they do have... You know what else I gotta do? He wants to build a ship, and I fucking... Ow. Ow. And I had... a planet where we could find it. There was so much of it.
Radiation protection falling.
And we're almost done with this too. We need to find some freighter modules.
Radiation protection falling.
Venom sacks are expensive, but we don't really need any more of that, eh? I got 2 bases.
Radiation damage detected. recharge. Radiation protection falling.
Bro. You need to chill out. I vaguely remember.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
I vaguely remember this not being used for something. Like, not besides nanos.
Product received.
I got two. I got lucky on this one, I guess. Oh, can I have 3? They're not overcharged, eh? So what is it at? It's at 56, and then what if we do this? Still at 56. And then supercharged. And then nothing else really. You know what I need? Do I have another launch? I don't have another launch system, do I? Oh, I do. Launch cost. I can put this in.
Technology installed.
And 1 die high. Into jelly. And then we can put it in just like that. And then we have a trickle. And we can get one more boost in, can't we? Yeah, we can. We can get one more S-Class in. And what else do I have? Aquajet. I have 4 crystals. I have 4 crystals. I think they're at home.
Technology installed.
Oh, you know what we'll do? Because he's almost ready. No, it's not this guy. It's this guy here. And then one more. Because they get too expensive after that. Hello, what are you? Oh, you're fossils. And those can go... Are they on the ship? Yeah, I think they ended up on the ship. Let me sell some stuff. So remember to keep these too, right? So when you're doing your quests, so you fight sentinels, get these, and then you can just boost your reputation with each clan.
Units received.
Oh, you know what we were gonna do? I'm gonna sell this copper. I don't actually. Can we go like this and make it easier? So we'll put it in the starship. And then I'll take... Actually, we'll just leave the 99. When's the next time I'm gonna get copper, really? And then what we can do is now we broke it up, we can switch to the ship.
Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received.
Where do we want to do that? Do we want to do that at the house? Maybe we'll go back to the house in a minute. Let's go to... What about that gold mine? Let's go back to that gold mine. Gold and then silver. At gold, silver, and cobalt. So if you manage to find gold or silver first, probably best to lay something down. Doesn't matter if it's... I'm impartial. I don't care whether it's C, B, A, or S. Doesn't matter to me. If I end up finding something better, great. But I'm not... I think it gets to a point where if you want to use it for a certain build, because you like to, say, build in glass, for example, or you want to build up your freighter, or whatever the case may be. Like I haven't played with my freighter in a while, so I ignore those things. But even having a little stash and knowing you can shoot at the ground to get iron, right? Like what's this? This is dihydrogen? Is there also chromatics here? This would be an okay spot to shoot at. I thought there was chromatics in here.
Units received.
That's okay.
Units received.
So this one's a little different. This one's a lot different. So you can see where the management comes in now. And you can play with this if you want to, a little bit. But I did a little bit of guesstimating. So we have nine thumpers. So early morning, we want about 18 solar panels just to get the mine going early in the morning. And you can sit there and watch it, right? You could do the math. I didn't do the math. I just put down solar panels until they started running at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And then the rest of them are to charge the batteries. And then the batteries are plugged in to these guys, and these guys run at night. So that was full. That was full today. That was full this morning. So you know what we can do. And then you hover over it and push R1 or L1. and that allows you to build as many as you want. But they don't have, you can't hold it, right? I'm holding, and it's not gonna work. That's why you hear me fucking gooning in the background. Yeah. Or let me write the numbers in. So then what we can do is, you can make this a lot nicer too, right? I'm not gonna spend the time to make this specific mine look nice, or any mine really. The only time I made one look half decent was the hardcore character, but that's because I live in it as well. So I spent time developing it so it doesn't span all of this. It's actually quite compact. Right, so now what you can see is the batteries are drawing. Now you could play with this a little bit. I think I have an overage, which means I only drop it down to about 16,000 during the night. So this will drop down to about 16,000. And then when morning kicks on, it charges again. And if you're finding that it can if it charges, right? Like if you're charging, what's worth? I don't know what's worth more to you: having more batteries and charging less, or having more solar powers and charging more but using less battery. So it's up to you. I just gave myself overage, so I don't have to think about it. And then again, and then these run at night. And what are we sitting at? 15,000 now. Okay. That's half decent. That's half decent. Because we're gonna use gold for a lot of stuff, right? Maybe we'll go. What are we doing? An hour? I think we're doing almost. Yeah. Okay. And then I think, and then Bagels has a. Bagels has an S-class gold. I told him to snag that one. But then if you're playing with somebody and they're not always on, get your friend to upload the base. That way, if we're on the same planet, just like what they've done here. Do we have any uploaded bases? I might be... You can see them when we fly around. There'll be little purple diamonds everywhere. And what people have done is they put their base on the public server. So now everybody can see it. So when we do that, I do the same thing. Where's this thing? I want to save it and upload it. I try to keep them all in the same spot so I don't have this problem here. Where is it? When I find it, I'm gonna move it into the house, so I'm not fucking. That's usually the first thing I do. I'll put this in the house. And then you come in here and you upload the base. If you want to keep things secret, you just don't upload the base. Or sometimes I'm just lazy. Sometimes the base is not big enough because I don't give a shit. So like some of the smaller base, some of the smaller mines that I have don't reach the requirements for a base, and I didn't bother to add more things to it because I don't care. And that was gas. And then look, see, I got cactus flesh, star bramble, solium, floating crystals, xenum. Okay, so the uranium, make your uranium mines so that you don't have to use those takeoff canisters. You can just show up, grab all of your uranium, and you can stuff that in your takeoff drive, in your launch. This is launch fuel. That's what that is. And then there's a couple things here that, like the cadmium mine, that's for one-offs. That's for one-offs. But I've noticed that my one-offs have become to a point, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'll just make a base then. I got one active indium mine. Somebody made that one for me, so it looks fancy. But then on the update, they grew all those permanent trees into my fucking base. So they didn't have a what if that states, if I have a base here, you don't get to grow anything permanent inside this base dome. They didn't do anything like that. They just blanketed the earth with permanent trees, and now I have permanent fucking garbage stuck inside my base. And it broke some of the stuff too. So it's fucking, you're doing a good job, but there's still some things that you've... And the venom sacks were because they were expensive and I could pick them up for bagels on the fly. And then I'm pretty... Yeah, okay, so we got nitrogen and sulfur, and that's part of the crafting section. So I noticed that in the crafting section. Special outposts. So we'll go to the special outpost here in a minute. Let's not forget about that. I have 2 of those. So always save your special outposts. Where is silver? Housekeeping. With the silver. Silver, there it is. It's dark outside and I can't see you. I think I made the silver base run all night as well. Oh, Dry, did you, I don't know what it is about your servers. You need to get that fixed. This game crashes far too often. Far too often. And I don't know why. It's almost to the point where I can't even stream this game on the PS4. I don't know why you have critical failures. This is a critical failure. This isn't anything... You shouldn't have, at this point in time in your game, you shouldn't have critical failures every 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, and I shut off my PS4 at night. I don't rest it, so my caches aren't fucked. This is just your game being unstable. That's a huge problem. Especially in hardcore. And then I'm wondering, and you know what the interesting thing is? I don't get much connectivity problems on hardcore. And is that because people don't play it? Is it like Ark, where everything on the public normal servers are absolutely fucking, it's ridiculous. You can't even fucking enjoy the game because it's so laggy. But then when I move over to hardcore, There's no bases, there's no pillars, there's no activity, there's no nothing, there's nobody. So everything runs phenomenal. So if you want, and what the frustrating part is, you set up an expedition so that you could have player engagement with one another. Also, I'm assuming, hoping that that community persists past that point when you have people like me playing their old saves. So the community persists, and everybody, you know, and every once in a while, I'm going to see people pop up in a solar system, and I'm going to feel like, hey, you know, there's a little bit of a community here. But if you want to create those things, and then your game can't support them because you have that arc problem, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with those connectivity problems? Because and here's the issue. The PS5 is having these functional problems too, eh? They're having critical fails. So you have something that's far newer than what I'm running, albeit he's on Wi-Fi, but I don't think this is a problem. I don't think this is a problem with the hardware of the user or the internet of the user. I think this is a problem with your servers and how you choose to run them. Because that sucks. Anyways, I gotta shut it down, so thank you for coming out. If I don't see you again, enjoy your day. I'm gonna load back up, but yeah, ciao for meow.